Hi everyone, today I'd like to make a simple recipe called Upma. Upma is a basic South Indian breakfast dish or breakfast meal. It is very healthy unless you use too much of oil, but basically it is usually made with semolina flour, which is, I'll just show you how it looks like. Okay, semolina flour looks like this. Okay, do you see that? It is said to be more healthy than regular flour. It's like little seeds, guys. Can you see? Okay, it's said to be more healthy than regular flour because the protein content in semolina is high. Sometimes upma is also made with oats and with other grains, but the most common, I think, is the one that's made from semolina flour, and Tamil is called, I think, suji flour or rava mawa. So, well, that's what I'm going to be making today. It's very simple, and you can add vegetables to this dish. I think usually you just add maybe a little bit of carrot and that's it. You don't add cashew nuts and maybe, just curry leaves and so on, but you don't really add too many vegetables into this dish. But you can, to make it more healthy, you can always add more chopped up beans or, peas and so on if you want to make it a more complete meal. Also, guys, usually the proportion of suji flour to water is usually 1 to 2 or 1 to 2.5, but sometimes that may vary depending on how your flour is, or sometimes how much of oil you use and so on. I would say 1 to 2, but here and there I would like add a little bit more depending on the consistency as you go along. All right, and you can also substitute a little bit of that water for a bit of milk. That's how my mom used to make it. She would put a little bit of milk. Like if it's 2 cups, she maybe put 1.5 cups of water and like about half cup of milk. So, and the cups that you use to measure the water as well as the suji must be the same thing. You should use the same cup. Okay, so today I'm going to use this 1 cup measurement. This is 1 cup. Okay, I'm going to use 1 cup, and I'm also going to use the same cup. So let me just measure out the suji. Okay. This is a tiny space for me to work with. Okay, I'm going to pour the suji into this cup. So it's 1 cup of suji. I'm going to put it in here. Okay, and this is suji that I have already roasted. Remember that when you roast suji flour, it lasts longer, and also it's a bit nicer when you use it. It won't get lumpy and so on. But even that being said, I'm still going to sort of like cook it in the oil later. Okay, so 1 cup of this, and now I'm going to take 2 cups of water, 1.5 cups of water, and I'm going to start heating it up. And I will set aside half cup of milk. Any milk, full cream, whole milk, whatever you like. I'm going to use the Australian yummy milk that I have here. So I'm going to pour into this pan, or this stock pot, I think a small one, 1 cup of water. Okay, and I'm going to add another half cup here. This is about half cup. And now I'm going to start heating this up. The addition of milk is optional. If you want the upma to be slightly more creamy and richer, then of course you can substitute a little bit of the water for milk. But if you don't want that, then plain water is fine as well. These are the ingredients: a small piece of ginger that I've chopped. I had prepped all this last night, so that's why you see it in bits of foil and so on. And this is about 1/4 green chili that I chopped. This is probably about 1/4 carrot as well that I have cubed very small little cubes like that. Some cashew nuts, about a handful. Preferably it should be like this, like that. And I didn't have the time to split all of them. This is about 1 medium-sized onion that I've chopped. A handful of raisins. This is that 1 cup of suji flour. And for the tempering, this is about a teaspoon of mustard seeds that I'm going to use. Some split urad dal that I'm going to use, and this is some red chilies, about 2 that I've broken, and another vegetable addition would be capsicum, about 1/4 capsicum that I've chopped as well. For the tempering of the spices, guys, I don't have curry leaves, so that is something that you have to add, or you can add if you want to. So I don't have curry leaves. That is something you can get. And then at the end, I would also put some chopped coriander leaves. That also enhances the flavor. I don't have that as well today. Also, together with the urad dal, when you're tempering it, you can also add some Malawi dal or tur dal, tuvaram paruppu. You can also add that in. It gives a nice crunch. I don't really like that, but I grew up having the Malawi dal in the upma as well. So yeah, so let's get started. The oil I mentioned is either ghee or any vegetable oil. The oil is a little hot now, so I'm going to add mustard seeds, about a teaspoon. I'm just using my hands, okay? And then the dried chilies. I'm putting it like this because the seeds would be very hot, so I don't want too much of the seeds going in. And now I'm putting in the urad dal, split urad dal. Okay, this is when you put the curry leaves as well. So since I don't have the curry leaves, I'm just going to let this brown a little bit and start to crackle and pop. And also, if you had tur dal, tuvaram paruppu, then now is when you add it. Okay. So as you hear the seeds beginning to crackle, pop, that sound, then it's time to add the onions as well as I'll use my hand to get everything out later, and also the green chilies. Okay, so I'm just showing you, so I'm just going to chuck it in first like this and let that brown a little bit. Not really brown actually. For upma, you don't want your onions to brown. They just have to be a little translucent, and that's it. So I'm going to put all this inside. Okay, make sure your heat is not so high. All this goes in. Okay, now you don't have to let all these ingredients brown. As soon as the onions start getting a bit translucent, so you know it's kind of cooked, then you start adding your other vegetables. So I'm putting in, I think I'll put the carrots in first, because the carrots are harder. So the carrots go in, and then the cashew nuts, the capsicums, everything. I'm going to put the cashew nuts in. Okay, maybe I'll just put the carrots. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to put the the capsicum. Okay, that goes in. Give it a nice stir. A little bit more oil. A little extra oil is good here, because later I'm going to put in the suji flour into this mixture. So if you feel like it's getting a bit dry, you need to add a little bit of oil, okay, or ghee. Now I'm going to add cashew nuts as well as the raisins. All go in. Let it stir. Okay, so nothing is too raw. Stir this till it's like semi-cooked. At this stage, most would add the water in first. I prefer to add the semolina in first here, because I prefer it that way, because I think that the semolina doesn't clump up, it doesn't get too soggy. But I know that the traditional way is to put water, let it boil, and then you put the suji flour. So my way might differ a little bit. It's up to you how you want to do it. Okay. You can either put the water, and then once it's boiling, you put the semolina, or like me, I'm now going to add the suji flour. I'm going to add the suji flour in. Okay, and give it a good stir. Make sure it doesn't clump up. A good stir, and add more ghee or oil if you need to. Okay, you must make sure each individual grain has oil and starts to expand a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to low heat, guys. I prefer this way, honestly, okay, because I feel that it will the suji doesn't become like a katti, clump up. It becomes a little bit more fluffy. Okay, now as it's heating, since our water is already boiling, okay, it's hot, not now. Okay, now let it cook a bit more. I will pour the water in. Okay, oh yeah, your salt. Make sure you add some salt as well. Low heat, guys. For a half a teaspoon first. Okay, I'll maybe make it 1. Okay, because you know that suji is going to expand. Okay, give it a good stir. I'm going to add the water. So make sure you stir it very well, guys. Okay, now it's important for you to stir very well. Make sure it's like doesn't stick to the bottom and so on. So I'm giving it a good stir. Make sure the bottom is not sticking. And you can also add the milk now. You can also add a bit of manjal tula, or what is that, turmeric powder, while you're adding the water. If you wanted the upma to be a little bit yellow, I don't do that. I prefer it to be on the whitish side. Okay, so you have to stir it quite well now, and make sure that you don't see the little, you must make sure that the suji cooks properly and it becomes translucent as well. So the suji mustn't be, it shouldn't have that white little bits inside. You should cook it until the suji also is completely cooked. Okay, now this is not going to do. I have to use better. I brought this from home. My daughter doesn't like it, so I just kept it here. This will be better because underneath, whatever that, you know, sometimes it like adipudikaran, or what do you call it? It starts to stick to the bottom. So I brought this, and I wanted to bring a big pot as well, but she didn't want it. So you have to follow because this is her place, not mine. Okay, now I'm going to have a look at this. Okay, let me show you. Altogether, the liquid was 1.5 cups of water and ½ cup of milk. So now have a look. Can you see that it's not cooking very well? Can you see that some of the, how do I show you? Yeah, just hold it. Can you see that the grain? Okay, can you see the bits of white in the suji? That means it hasn't cooked completely. The little dots is basically, can you see the little dots? That means it's still not completely cooked. So now I need to add a little bit more water. So just a little bit more water. Okay, that's all. Give it a stir, and you can just close the pot. Put a lid on and let this cook in the steam. If you feel that you need to put more water, go ahead and put more water. Sometimes they say you use 3 cups of water. I use about 2.5 usually. So now I'm going to add a bit more, just a little bit more. So roughly I would say the liquid would be 1 cup of suji that I've used today. Okay, 1 cup of suji, 2.5 cups of liquid. Now I'm going to stir it like this. Make sure the bottom doesn't stick, guys. Now cover it and let it cook in the steam. Okay. Cover. Let it cook for about a minute or 2. So I'm going to turn off the heat, guys, and let it cook for a little bit more. And you'll see that the grains, if they're completely translucent, that means it's cooked. If they're each, individual grain, it has a little dot, a little white dot inside, then you know it's not cooked. But so right now, I think it's already cooked. Okay. I worry that my phone will just drop. Okay. Looks nice. I don't know how to show this, guys, to you guys. Can you see that it's cooked? Maybe I'll just show you the, can you see, guys? Can you see that there's no more little white dots in the semolina grains? Okay, so that means it's completely cooked. And now all you have to do is just fluff it up, give it a good stir, and you can already plate it. Okay, so as you can see, my upma has got a lot of things inside, and the little raisins would give it a little bit of sweetness here and there. So guys, this is how it looks like. Can you see that? Homemade, wholesome upma, all done and ready. So if you like it to be served in that, you know, the way it's served in the shops and all that, and the nice dome-shaped upma serving, all you have to do is like, wait, let me just show you. All you have to do is take a bowl like this, okay, and pack the upma in, nicely pack it in, and then put a plate, turn it upside down, and then you have that type of that look as well. But I like it like this. Okay, I like it nice and fluffy, and yeah. And this is also the time for you to sprinkle the upma with some nice chopped coriander leaves, if you want, that is. So guys, nice, wholesome, homemade upma just for you. So here's Shakila Shanmugam signing off. Bye everyone.